how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is going to be my roundup review. These are all of the things that I tried out last month in the month of April. I have quite the pile here, some really good standout things, maybe some things that weren't my favorite. I'm gonna talk about everything and we are gonna get into it. As always, if you're new to this video series from me, this is never a way for me to be braggy. I'm very grateful for any PR I receive or anything I'm able to buy myself. This is just a way for me to be transparent on what I have received and give you my full thoughts on everything in like one concise space. Before we hop into it, I did of course film this look. It should already be on my channel by the time this video goes up. It's from a recent 4 looks 4 palettes video. As far as my accessory details today, unfortunately I don't know the brand of these earrings. I got these at a random plant shop in Maryland when I visited last year, and this is just an old basic choker. So without further ado, let's just hop in. I think this is gonna be a bit of a longer one, so get yourself a snack, get all comfy cozy, and let's talk about some makeup. The first thing I tried last month were the new Unearthly palettes, the Murky Meadow and the Shadowed Petal. These are such cute little palettes. I love a 9-pan. I love a themed palette, and these are just perfect. The Murky Meadow really hits the nail on the head with just that swampy, murky theme. I love these earthy tones. There's a great combination of like dingier vibes with that pop of brightness right in the center, which I adore personally. I think this is super cute. I really enjoy Unearthly's formulas, and I feel like they've just continued to step it up over the years, and this one is gorgeous. And the Shadowed Petal is kind of like the mauve-y, grungy sister to the Murky Meadow. It's so pretty. I really enjoy the gradient with these mattes. Like, you can really do things that are a little bit lighter, but you can also really deepen things up and make it super dramatic. Again, really pretty shimmers in here. Lots of options that you can do, even with it just being 9 pans. I think this is a great example of like a very concise themed 9-pan that still has a lot of options. And by the way, I've played with pretty much every single thing I'm gonna talk about today on camera, so you can check out like my channel, my Instagram, all that good stuff if you wanna see these various things in action. I will also link everything down below for you if you need to reference anything, get any discount codes if I have any, stuff like that. Next up, I did buy myself the Adept Cosmetics Emo Adept. This is their newest palette, and it's so pretty. I was so enamored by this color story. Again, I love a dingy, dusty sort of color story, but it's still colorful. Adept has such fantastic shimmers. They are so just shifty and magical and otherworldly, and their mattes really do have a great formula too. I feel like their shimmers are, no pun intended, where the brand shines though, but overall, I really enjoyed playing with this one. Again, I just like the combination of, it's still colorful, but in a very like muted, sort of dingy way. So pretty. Very good combo of like almost pastel-y shades with the depth. They did a good job. This is probably my favorite one I have from them. Rare Beauty came out with the new matte bouncy blushes, and these are so pretty. I have worn these so many times. I took one traveling with me recently. I'm loving this formula. I love these different shade options. This is such a cool, unique formula where it's very much like a cushiony sort of texture to the touch. It's definitely like a cream, but in a very like soft, bouncy, plushy sort of way. Like, it's not intense creamy pigment, but it does apply a little bit more like a cream rather than a powder. But I can also put this on top of powder and it doesn't disrupt anything. It's a very good kind of hybrid sort of product. The shades are Alive, Grateful, Happy, Hope, Thriving, Truth, and Worth. I've probably reached for Hope the most, Worth a second place probably, but I've really enjoyed a lot of these. I think I'm gonna be reaching for like Alive and Thriving a lot once like summer hits. They're just very bright and very intense and so pretty. I like that with these, you can really build them up as much as you want. You can go with a very light hand and get a very soft wash of color, but you can also get it pretty intense if you wanna have a heavier hand with it. Very customizable with the amount of pigment you're gonna get, which is very cool. Jolie Beauty had come out with the Tainted collection around Valentine's Day, and I recently received it in the month of April, and I don't have the full collection, but I do have some pieces of it that we're gonna talk about. First being some tools, we have the Cutie Heart Powder Puffs. I honestly love these. Like, I love the shape. The heart tickles me. I just think it's so cute, but I also love just the plushiness. I use a powder puff every time I do my makeup to like set my under eyes and stuff like that, so these have been great. I specifically use the little one to kind of brighten up my under eyes and like T-zone area with the brightening powder in the shade Sugar. They came out with this with the collection as well, and I wasn't even really someone that utilized like a matte white brightening powder before, but I feel like I can't stop doing it now. I feel like it just adds a little extra something, and it is very subtle on me. I'm very pale, but I do feel like it does add that extra bit of brightness. It adds some extra dimension to the skin. I've really enjoyed it. And I feel like it doesn't look overly matte where it's like drying me out, because I do have a normal to dry skin texture, and I don't like when things are too matte on me. I feel like it just makes me look even more dry, but that just seems to brighten and not really make me look more dry or anything. There was this eyelash curler in the collection, and I've never used an eyelash curler that has these little teethy guys at the bottom, but I feel like it does a really good job like grasping the hairs and really adding that extra curl. I am wearing false lashes right now. I've been on a big false lash kick again lately, so I haven't been like perfecting my natural lashes as much, but the times that I have used just mascara, I've really been enjoying this particular lash curler. I like those little grippy teeth. There was a blush in the collection. Actually, I think there were multiple blushes, but I have one shade of blush from the collection. It's in the shade Velvet. It's in this cute heart compact. It is a cream. I feel like it's pretty pigmented, but it blends out pretty nicely. I didn't feel like it looked too overly like patchy or anything like that. It was a pretty standard, well-rounded cream blush. No real complaints, but I will be so honest, I've tried multiple blushes lately, and again, I don't really have anything bad to say about this one, but I don't think it did anything that wowed me so much that it stands out amongst things that I either already love or tried recently. So again, no real complaints on this one if you're just looking for a cute cream blush. Again, I think there were multiple shades of this, and you like the little compact. I don't really have anything negative to say. I just maybe liked other things better. I did get some lip products in the collection as well. I have 3 pencils and 3 lip tints. The shades of the pencils that I got are Nocturnal, Rebel, and Tainted. Various shades of like purpley, pinky, reddish. These are fine. I feel like they're just kind of a classic wooden lip pencil. They don't really tug my lips, but they're not the most creamy pencils I've ever used either. I feel like they're just pretty standard, like nothing that's wowing me, but they weren't anything bad, like they didn't tug or have a lack of pigmentation. I feel like I have encountered that with wooden pencils in the past where it just doesn't really do a whole lot. These do have pigmentation for sure, but I do prefer a little bit of a creamier pencil, I think. These lip tints have been a lot of fun though. The shades I have are Desire, Inferno, and Vixen, just various shades of bright red, more of a reddish purple, a darker purple. Super, super pretty. A little goes a long way with these, like the tiniest bit of liquid. They're very like wet and drippy feeling. So a tiny bit goes a long way, and then they really do stain the lips really well. They last nicely. I feel like as they fade throughout the day, they still look pretty good. I've really liked these. I don't have too many like lip tint stain type products like this in my collection, and I do just like how bold and out there these shades are. I feel like they sink into the lips really nicely and just look very smooth, and they feel like nothing once that like wet feeling goes away after they dry down. Super, super comfortable. And last but not least is the actual Tainted palette. I've really been enjoying this one. I'm not usually the biggest fan of a giant palette like this, but I think they did it so well. I am a sucker for red, purple, pink together. I just think it is a gorgeous, gorgeous combination. And I've loved seeing how much they've stepped up their formulas over the years. I tried them a long time ago and like maybe a couple years ago, and a couple of the shimmers were really special, but the other ones were very just like flat and satiny and just not enough impact for me. They've definitely improved over the more recent palettes that I've tried, where the shimmers are all just very impactful and bold, and they have like beautiful metallic or a really pretty shift to them. The mattes have great pigmentation and blend so nicely. I have felt gorgeous when I play with this palette. I think it is so stunning. And I'm a sucker for like a Valentine's theme, a spooky theme, and I feel like this is kind of the best of both worlds. Next up, Game Beauty came out with the Street Fighter collection that I've been playing with kind of here and there. I played with pieces separately, played with things together, and there are things I like more than others, but for the most part, I think it's a pretty fun collection, especially just theme-wise. If you're really into Street Fighter and you're into makeup, I think this would be a great collection for you. I guess first we'll talk about the highlight sticks. We have Chun-Li and Manon. They're like kind of shifty bluish and shifty pinkish. These are cute. I feel like for highlighter sticks, I am very picky when it comes to any like cream or liquid highlighter. I feel like they tend to either not be impactful enough or they move my makeup around. These definitely don't move my makeup around, and they do have that shift to them, which is really pretty, but I don't know. I feel like I just always want more impact with a highlighter, and these just don't quite give me enough of what I'm looking for. I do think they're cute if you like more of a stick formula in a highlighter and you want a splash of color, but you're okay with it being a little bit more on the subtle side, you'd probably really like these. I just like all the sparkly goodness and I want just a little bit more than this. There are also stick blushes in this collection as well, various shades of different reds and pinks. We have Cami, JP, Ken, and Lily. Again, just different shades of like red and pink. I do like these, but I feel like, I don't know. Out of cream and liquid blush formulas, I feel like I'm just so much more likely to use like a liquid that's on a doe foot or a cream that's in a compact rather than a stick. And I feel like years ago, stick blushes used to be my favorite. And again, I don't really have anything bad to say about these. I think they had fine pigmentation. They looked really vibrant on the skin. They blended nicely. They didn't move anything around. It's just maybe not my favorite vessel for a cream blush, if that makes sense. But I do still think they performed well. If you like a stick blush, I think these are nice. And if you like these colors, of course. We have 6 lipsticks in the collection as well. Again, various shades of really vibrant reds and pinks in here. There is one that's more of like a darker brownie red, but lots of like bright, borderline fluorescent shades. So if you're into that, you would eat these up. The shades are E Honda, Jury, Kimberly, Marissa, Ryu, and Zangief. These are very creamy, very pigmented, very bold, very out there. Some of these are shades I just simply don't own in my collection, partly because I don't reach for this fluorescent of a shade very often, but I do feel like it fills a hole in my collection. And when the time is right, these are perfect for like a certain moment. I did especially like pairing the more bright shades with a darker lip pencil because that's just my vibe, having more of a pop of brightness rather than my entire lips being super bright, but that's just me. But I do think these are super cool, super fun and unique. There are 6 chromatic chameleon single shadows in the collection. These are very like shifty, I don't know if they're duochrome or multi-chrome, but they're magical. They're so pretty. The shades are Jamie, Luke, Guile, Blanca, Dalsum, and DJ. I think, which one was my favorite? One of these in particular I really liked. I did really like Guile. This like super special, like icy shifty blue. Just lots of cool, various fun shades of like shifty golds and greens and blues. These are really, really fun, very impactful. Honestly, I wish they would utilize this formula in their palettes more because I think they're so pretty. And they are cool like as singles as well, like just as an addition, but I think they should utilize this particular formula in their palettes more. That's just me personally. And speaking of palettes, we have the Street Fighter palette as well. It's like a huge hexagon. It opens up like a book. It's a very kind of like bright palette, but I don't feel like it's just like a typical rainbow palette either. Like it has like various colorful shades, but with lots of different sorts of undertones. Like we have pastel-y shades, but we also have very bright shades, but we also have very dingy shades. It's a cool combination going on. The shimmers are fine. I feel like they're pretty just standard metallics in here. They're not bad, but when you have like these really pretty shifty shades to go along with it, I almost just wish they would have just put these shades in the palette instead. But again, that's just me personally. I have a harder time going out of my way to reach for singles, but you might not be that way. And the formulas for the mattes were really good in here. And again, the shimmers that are in here are nice. They're just not as beautiful as the singles. But I do think this is fun. It's colorful, it's chaotic and weird. And especially if you're really into Street Fighter, you would really enjoy the theming as well. Lawless came out with a new like strawberry set of glosses in their gloss formula. I love their formula. It's very like plumping and smooth and just so pretty. I'm wearing one of them today and I just love this gloss formula. The shades are Strawberry Milkshake, Strawberry Popsicle, and Strawberry Shortcake. They're all just various shades of pinky tones. Some are more pink, some are more corally pink, but very cute. I'm a sucker for these glosses. I think they're so good, so I'm always happy to have more. I'm wearing the shade Strawberry Shortcake in particular today. I did not pick up much at the Sephora sale, but I did pick up 2 new mini Kyalis because I've been slowly collecting them, and I picked up 2 new ones. I picked up Rose Royale and the Wedding Silk Santal, and they're fine. They're fine. Actually, let me pull up the notes because I'm really bad at describing scents, so let me just tell you what the website descriptions of these scents are because that will make more sense than me trying to explain it. So the Rose Royale, this is a warm florally scent and the keynotes are pear, royal rose, and musk. I will say I'm not the biggest floral scent person for myself for fragrances, but I decided to pick this one up anyways. It's a newer scent and I actually do like it. I feel like maybe it's the pear that's in it, but because it has like a little bit of that fruitiness, it helps kind of cut the floral a little bit to where it's not too floral for me. It's very just like clean and bright with a little bit of that rose behind it. It does smell really pretty when it's on. It's still maybe not my favorite one that I own from them. I'm probably not gonna wear it all the time. I just prefer more of the sweeter or fruitier scents, but I do like this one more than I thought. I went into this one hesitantly. And the Wedding Silk Santal one, I was also nervous about this one because it also has a little bit more of a florally scent, but I wanted to try it anyway. This one is also described as a warm florally scent, but the keynotes are sparkling champagne, white frieza, and sandalwood, and I feel like, again, just those other elements combined makes it a little bit more wearable for me personally. This one's a lot brighter, a lot cleaner, less heavy on the floral than the other one that I just mentioned. Like, to me, this one doesn't have a strong floral at all, but maybe it's just because of the particular scents that are in here. I do actually like to layer this one. I'm layering it right now with another one that I'll get to in a moment, but I am liking this one. This one I was really worried I wasn't gonna like, so happy that those ones are fine. Like, they're not my top favorites just for personal preference, but they are nice. And on the topic of fragrance, Glossier sent me their newest fragrance. This is the Glossier You Fleur, and I will look up the notes for that one too, because again, I am bad at scents. This has Lang Lang, Apricot Skin, and Ambro. Again, this one's just very airy and light. It's clean, a little florally, but not overly so. Kind of similar to this one, just a little bit brighter in my opinion. These are the two I'm wearing layered together today, and I do like the combination. Again, I can't stress enough that I'm just not a floral person as far as perfume goes, but I am happier with these ones than I have been with ones that are maybe more intensely floral. Moving on, I got the new collection from the new brand, Cho Cosmetics. They sent over their palette, their new gloss, and their brushes. This is a brand new brand. This is actually owned by the cousin of the owner of Unearly Cosmetics. So this is the palette here. We have kind of a combination of a small eyeshadow palette with a cheek duo built in. We have kind of a blush and highlighter combo here. And the palette itself is very much that smoky, sultry sort of vibe. We have like the pops of red. The formulas in here are actually stunning. The shimmers are so just beautiful on the lids, like so sparkly and special looking. The mattes blended really, really nicely too, especially given that there's like, you know, a black and a vibrant red. I feel like everything performed really well. I did like this cheek duo too, and I've mentioned before and I'll mention it again, I do kind of wish this was just separate from the palette because I would potentially reach into these more often if they were separate, but because they're built into this palette, I just know myself, I'm never gonna think about those cheek products unless I'm actively using this palette. But I feel like for a first launch, this is pretty lovely. The gloss is nice as well. It's kind of like a mid-toned, just creamy gloss. It's nice, it's not anything like revolutionary, but it's pretty. Not really anything overwhelmingly great to say, but I have nothing bad to say either. And then I have the brushes, which I have been enjoying. We have two shadow brushes and then two face brushes. I've actually been using the smaller of the face brushes as highlighter a lot lately. I feel like I'm just gonna continue reaching for it. I like that it's a little bigger, but it's still very fluffy and kind of stippled at the very ends. I feel like it disperses product just really nicely. I've been using the bigger one lately for blush. Eyeshadow brushes are eyeshadow brushes. They're pretty standard, just fluffy brushes, but I've reached for all of these multiple times. I did pick up the Glamlite and Breaking Dawn Part 1 palettes with Glamlite. I also did throw the highlighter in my cart so that I could get free shipping. This is the Wedding Day highlighter, and it's so pretty. It's just like a very smooth, icy, sparkly highlighter. It has more pigment than, like, for example, the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb, because that's just like clear with sparkle. This one definitely has like more of an icier base with sparkle. It is so pretty though. I've reached for it multiple times. And then the palettes I've really enjoyed as well. I've tried a few palettes from Glamlite in the past. I haven't tried that many given the amount of palettes they've come out with, but I've noticed just inconsistencies, like some are better than others. These seem to be fantastic. These are definitely my favorites that I've ever tried from them. The Team Edward is very much a like smoky blue, purple, red sort of moment. Very pretty metallic shimmers. The mattes all blended very nicely, all very pigmented and saturated. I feel so lovely with this one. And my favorite of the two is probably the Team Jacob palette, just because I really love this earthy color story. I love the earthy tones, the weird oranges, the mustards, the pops of dingy mauve, the tealy blues. It's so pretty. I really, really enjoy this one. Again, the metallics are just so, so pretty. I'm glad I treated myself to these. I'm Twilight's biggest fan. And these were a hit. I'm so glad the formulas were good. Salem Cosmetics sent me their newest palette. This is the Ghostly Glam. We have kind of just a smoky sort of color story. We have pops of red, we have different blues, ghostly purples, lots of toppery, like shifty shades. I think this is pretty. I think the color story is really pretty. I really enjoy the theming, the ghostly glam sort of vibe. The shimmers in here are gorgeous. I will say the mattes are a little dry for my personal preference. I feel like they're not necessarily hard to blend or anything. Like my look turned out really nice when I played with this one, but the mattes are a little on the drier side. But again, it still performed, so I guess I can't really consider that a negative since it still worked, but I do prefer mattes that are a little bit softer, but that's just a nitpicky thing. But again, the shimmers that are in here are stunning. They are so, so magical looking. They also restocked me a couple sponges. One is currently very used. But I've shouted them out before, but Salem Cosmetics sponges I really like. They're just so squishy. They're so good. Glaminatrix sent over their newest palette, the Nearly Natural. This is an expanded version of their old Nearly Natural. I don't have that one. This is the new one, and this is the only one I have, so I can't compare. But it's just kind of the extended edition, if you will. We have kind of a combination of like lighter tones and then darker grungy shades. Really pretty shimmers. And I like that we do have that combination of like more dingy or darker shades with the softer, more whimsical shades. I think it's a good combo. I feel like this is a way to make neutrals interesting for me because I'm just not a basic neutrals kind of person. So this is a way to kind of spice it up, keep it a little bit more exciting. Glaminatrix has amazing formulas. I think their mattes blend out like an absolute dream, and their shimmers are so, so stunning, especially the smolder shade. The level of sparkle in this sparkly black is unmatched. It is so good. Dede Signature came out with their newest palette and a bunch of lip kits, and I got to pick out 3 lip kits and I have the palette. The lip kits include a pencil and a gloss, and these are all really, really pretty. These shades that I picked out for myself are Chestnut, Dusk, and Espresso, just various shades of different neutrals. I like that Chestnut has kind of that orangey gingerbreadiness to it. It's going to be so pretty come fall. Like I would wear this shade all the time, but especially in the fall, I'm going to be obsessed with that. And I like that Espresso has these little bits of sparkle running through it. It's so pretty. The gloss formula is quite lovely. It's very lightweight and comfortable. It's not sticky, just very, very comfy. The pencils are fine. Pretty similar thoughts to what I was saying about the Jolie Beauty ones earlier. Like they're just a pretty standard pencil. I do feel like these have a little bit more creaminess than the Jolie Beauty ones. They aren't quite as stiff, but they're pretty just like standard wooden lip pencils. And their new Drops of Fantasy palette is so pretty. I feel like they really stepped this one up with like the packaging and the theming and just like the overall presentation of it. They did the same thing with their like Fearless Holiday at the end of last year, which I'm in love with still. It's one of my favorites. And this one is just so gorgeous. I like that we have kind of a combination of softer pastel-y shades with really bold in-your-face shades. All these different shimmers are really, really stunning. I like that this color story is kind of chaotic and weird. It's not like a super cohesive, just like one theme going on. It's very colorful and kind of crazy, but without being just a typical rainbow palette either, which is super, super fun. The formulas are so good. In this brand, I've just loved seeing them just really strive and continue to grow and improve. I feel like some brands can really stay stuck in their ways and not really want to venture out and improve, but this brand has really been trying so hard to just continually get better, and I love to see that. The owner's so sweet. I'm super excited about it. Unearly Cosmetics expanded their Menacing Metals lipsticks, and I did pick up 6 of them. I think they came out with like 8 new ones. I picked up 6, and I did do like full lip swatches on like Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and all that stuff if you want to see them on, but these are so cool. These are some of my favorite metallic lips I've ever used. I just think they're so smooth and stunning. They look just so otherworldly and they're so unique. In particular, I love pairing them with a darker lip pencil because that's just my favorite vibe, but these are just so cool. The shades are Cherub, Darkling, Dragonfly, Frostbite, Ghostly, and Piranha. Just all various shades. Some are more dark with that sparkly metallic going through it. Some are more like translucent with like a flash of metallic color going through it. They're just so pretty and so fun, and I adore them. I loved the first round of them, and I'm so glad I picked up more shades because they're just so stunning and so unique, and I love them so much. Gourmande Girls came out with their new Mermaid collection. First is the Mermaid Magic Cheek Palette. We have sort of a combination of blushes and highlighters. You could also use some of these darker ones as like blush toppers, which I've done a few times. This is such a cool cheek palette. I feel like it's so unique, such fun, interesting tones. I specifically love these highlightery shades. I think they are so pretty. This is such a fun, unique way to do a cheek palette. Like I don't have anything like this. And then we have the Call of the Sirens eyeshadow palette. This is just an absolute treasure trove of a palette. Lots of dark, deep shades, really rich jewel tones, intense pops of color. We even have some softer shades in the mix as well to kind of lighten things up. but this is just so bold and intense and dramatic and such a pretty color story for a mermaid theme. I love it. Gourmande Girls has amazing formulas. Everything is so just pigmented and beautiful, and I just love them. Fantasy Cosmetica recently came out with their new Ranger collection. There's a palette, a fragrance, and 4 nail polishes. I didn't opt for the fragrance just because I have so many right now, and I did pick up all 4 of the nail polishes. Unfortunately, one of them didn't make it, but I do have 3 of them. The shades of the nail polish are Claw, Fang, and Thorn. They're just all very pretty, kind of orangey, rosy, tealy. I'm actually wearing Thorn right now. Such a pretty, shifty, like almost sagey tealy shade. It's so, so cool. These are stunning. I love them. And of course we have the Ranger palette. This is so pretty. Another member has joined the party and we have the Ranger now. This is kind of a combination of like mints with darker greens with kind of like corally oranges with more dusty oranges. Very cool combo. I think there's a lot you can do with this one. This one kind of took me by surprise. Not that I've met a Fantasy Cosmetica palette that I don't like, but this one just really took me by surprise at how much I loved it. This like dark shade here with the really intense dark shimmers, so pretty. This is absolutely stunning. Fantasy Cosmetica does an amazing job every single time. Their formulas are incredible and their themes are just always so spot on. Urban Decay came out with these new liquid shadows. They're in these kind of like weird rectangle components with the spiky lid, and they're on like a little paintbrush applicator. I've done it both ways where like I'll just paint on with the paintbrush, but I've also done it where I use a liner brush to do more of accents. The shades are Frost Boss, Silver Spooning, Space Cowboy, Sugar Twist, Sunshine Tax, and Traffic Jam. We have kind of a mixture of like silver, rose gold, bronze. We have a couple that are like more shifty, like these ones go from more of a like a peachy pink and then a bluey purple. I think these are cute, but I'll be so honest, indie brands have been doing like really cool in your face liquid shadows for a long time that are just like so intense and special. And like these are cute. If you've never touched a liquid shadow before, I'm sure you would think these are amazing, but again, they're not bad. I've seen this before. It's not really anything new, but they are cute. They are cute. I do feel like the packaging's a little large and obnoxious though. It didn't need to be this extreme. ColourPop has come out with liquid blushes. They recently sent me over a few when they expanded their liquid blushes to include the pearl finish. So I have 3 with the pearl finish and 3 with the standard finish. For the pearl and then the standard, we have the shades City Walk, I Love It, and Sweet Treats, and the regular are Angel Face, Culver City, and IKTR. These are on those typical like liquid doe foot sort of applicator, which is my favorite for like a liquid blush. I just think it's perfect. You can kind of dab on what you want. You can go straight in with your brush or sponge. I love the pearl finish ones specifically are just incredible. They are so stunning. I love the radiance that they leave, but even the regular ones, like they're still really pretty. Like they don't look drying or matte or anything like that. They just look like a pretty standard liquid blush. Kind of similar to how Rare Beauty has both like the more radiant finish and the matte finish, but both are pretty. The radiant just has a little bit more of that radiance to it. And I'm always gonna choose the glowy side of things. So those are my pick as far as like what I'd prefer out of these 2 formulas, but they're great. I hadn't tried the liquid blushes from ColourPop yet, and I'm really glad I finally got to. I think these are quite lovely and these colors are super fun. And still on the topic of blush, I have these cream blushes from Give Me Glow. They recently, I think they're coming out sometime early May, so they might have already launched by the time this video goes up, but they recently revealed this whole giant cream blush collection. We have 3 different types. We have some that are in the pink family, some that are in this like peachier family, and some that are in this more reddish family. And I want to say there's like 6 to 8 of each. There's like a huge range, and I got to pick out 3 shades. The shades I picked are Cherry Vanilla Whip, Mustard Moment, and Strawberry Milk. I'm wearing Strawberry Milk right now, actually, with a powder over it. It's in this like component with this like clear to keep it clean. I'll be honest, I tried to rip this part out though because it was annoying me, and I couldn't rip it out, so looks like I'm stuck with it. But very pigmented cream blush formula. A little goes a long way. You just dab in with your brush or sponge, apply as needed. It blends out really nicely. A lot of pigment with really good blendability. I've been impressed with this so far. I'll be honest, I haven't dipped into these 2 shades yet. I've been testing out lots of makeup lately, if you can't tell, but I do have plans to. I feel like especially in the fall, Mustard Moment's gonna be everything. I love blending like a pumpkin-y orange and a yellow together, and I do not own a yellow yellow cream blush, so that is so pretty. I'm excited about these. I feel like these have nice pigmentation, a lot of promise. I'm excited about it. And still on the topic of blush, I have the 5 new powder blushes from Unearthly. These are the incandescent glow blushes, and they are so pretty. I'm wearing this shade Crush right now over top of that Give Me Glow one that I put on. I mean, I have highlighter on too, but these are a very soft glow, just radiant powder blush. They do not have any glitter or shimmer in them. They just have a very radiant lit from within look. The shades are Blaze, Crush, Dusk, Lumen, and Mystic, just various shades of like more neutrally pink into like brighter popping corals and brighter pinks. Super, super pretty. These are probably my favorite powder blushes I've ever tried from Unearthly. I think the packaging is stunning. The formulas and the colors, they're just so, so good. I see myself wearing Lumen a lot in the summer. Like that's gonna be everything. I love these. I think these are wonderful. I got these at the recent Creators and Friends event. Unearthly hosted a paint and sip night, and these were the little gift that they gave out. So gorgeous. Another thing I got at the recent Creators and Friends were these cutie little items from Clionadh. First being some nail polishes that I picked up. First being this one called Sands of Destiny. They created this one specifically for the Destin trip for Creators and Friends, so that was super cute. Just a very soft kind of sandy shade with like pinky greenish reflex all through it. It's gorgeous. I love Clionadh's nail polishes. I have multiple of them at this point and they're all so stunning. Dreamscape is just a magical bluey purple. Like, I can't wait to just slather this over my entire existence. Psilocybin, I might be completely butchering that word, but this is a magnetic nail polish. This one has kind of like a purpley gray bluish sort of thing, and then if you put a magnet up to it, it creates a cool effect on the nails. I love magnetic nail polishes. I think they're so fun. And last is Smolder Light. This is just such a classic multi-chrome. Like we have the bright purple with the blue with the green and the yellow. Very cool. Just like that rainbowy multi-chrome. That is stunning. And then I also acquired 6 new singles from Clionadh as well. The shades are Amalgam, Flame Blown, Hilt, Kiln Light, Trefoil, and Ripple. I'm a sucker for Clionadh's multi-chromes, and I'm so thrilled to have more in the mix. I think these are absolutely stunning. They're so smooth looking on the lid and just so magical with the shifts. They're so good. They've been like top tier brand for multi-chrome since the dawn of time. I also got the new Singe Beauty Agate Temptation palette at the Creators and Friends event as well. They hosted a dinner to reveal their new palette, and it is so pretty. I'm actually wearing this right now. Really fun combination of like dingier tones with bright pops of color. So, so pretty. I love these different shimmers. Like we have some that are more like multi-chrome, some that are more just intense metallic, some that are more toppery. Just absolutely gorgeous. I think this is so pretty. It's just giving jungle. I don't know why, but it's giving jungle to me, and it's so, so pretty. At the moment, there is not a release date yet. She's hoping for sometime in May. It may have been announced by the time this video goes up, and if so, I'll have it in the description box with all the other details, but as of right now, we'll just say it's still coming soon. Everything else that I'm talking about, though, should have already been released by the time this video goes up. A couple other things from the Creators and Friends event. I got this Bare Minerals Blonzer. It's like a blush bronzer hybrid. Mine's in the shade Kiss of Pink. I'll be honest, on my skin tone at least, there's nothing bronzy about this. It is just a liquid blush. It's fine, it's just in a little squeezy tube. It's cute, but similar to what I was saying about the Jolie Beauty one earlier, I've tried a lot of blush lately and I just am a blush fiend. It's pretty, it's luminous, it's gorgeous, but I don't know how much it stands out amongst other things that I just like more. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing really negative to say, but it's not anything that like blew me away either. And last Creators and Friends goodies is I got these Buxom products. This is a Buxom plumping like lip balm. I have been reaching for this every single day. Like I just see it sitting on my desk and I grab it and it just like adds a little bit of plump. It makes my lips feel nourished. I've really been liking this. This one kind of surprised me how much I fell in love with it. And then I have this gloss in the shade Pink Champagne. I think this is so cute as well. The shade White Russian used to rule my life back in the day. I loved that shade and I hadn't used Buxom in a long time. So this was a fun little treat, honestly, to like get reintroduced to them again and like play with some stuff. I really like this. It's very just like smooth, shiny plumping. It's great. I came home from that trip to my Wicked Widow beauty package that they sent over. They came out with a whole American Psycho collection. I don't have the full collection, but I do have the palette, a gloss, and a lipstick. The palette is just so cool, very iconic, based on the movie. This is an officially licensed collab and it's just so cool. They went for kind of a half neutral, half colorful sort of thing. Wicked Widow has amazing eyeshadow formulas. Everything is very just pigmented, so blendable. I love how just rich and saturated all these shimmers are. very just like intense metallic on the lid. So, so gorgeous. I really enjoy this movie, and I think this collab is just so, so fun. I like the overall vibe of it. I maybe could have done with a few less beiges personally, but that's just me. But overall, I think this was a really, really fun palette. And then I do have the Bloodlust Gloss and Psycho lipstick, which I realized recently. The lipsticks that were advertised looked very metallic. Mine's definitely just matte. So I'm not sure what happened there as far as like the pictures versus the actual product, but just keep that in mind if you plan on making an order. At least for me, mine is not metallic like it looks on the website. And by the time this video goes up, maybe they will have fixed that. I'm not sure. But I did like this lipstick. It's a very like soft, matte, pretty brown. It looks really good and felt really comfy, but it is not metallic like the website leads you to believe. And the gloss is fine. It's just kind of like a sheer, sparkly red. It's not anything that's like groundbreaking for me. I have other glosses that I just adore more, but I think it's fine. And like the whole theming is cute with it. Nomad Cosmetics recently came out with their America's Route 66 palette. I really enjoy Nomad. I think they have great formulas and great themes, and they do such a good job with just creating a concept and putting it all together. I love a theme, and they are one of the best at it. All they do is stick to a theme. But this is kind of like an earthy, dingy pops of color sort of vibe. It's really, really cool. I always break this up into 2 different palettes because it is an 18-pan palette, so my brain sees it in 2 different ways. We have kind of the warmer side over here and then the cooler side over here, and you could like mix and match. Very beautiful. Their metallics are so pretty. Everything is very shiny in this palette, and the mattes all blend like a dream. I feel like they're very beginner friendly. Like you could go in with a lighter hand or you can build them up. It's kind of hard to mess up with Nomad shadows. I feel like they're just very easy to work with. I think this is super cute. And last but not least, ColourPop did send over their Tangled collection. Because I have and still have so many things that I'm testing out at any given moment, I ended up only busting out the palette personally. And it was fine. I liked the look I created. I love the theming. The Tangled theme is so stinking cute, but I feel like I just wanted a little bit more with this one. It's very sheer as far as the mattes go. Like the mattes are very light and soft, and they don't have a ton of pigmentation. And I get that we do have some pastels in here, but I do feel like it still could have been cranked up a notch just a little bit. The shimmers are really pretty in here, specifically these 2 shades. They're very glitzy and vibrant looking. But overall, I feel like this one could have just done with a smidge more pigments, personally. But it wasn't bad. I think it's cute. The theming is absolutely adorable. And yeah, I've been talking for 1,000 years. I hope you enjoyed this video. It goes without saying, but just because I've tried out so much makeup lately does not mean you need all of this makeup or any of this makeup. I am simply just somebody who likes to play with makeup, and play with eyeshadow specifically is my favorite, and test things out for you and create videos, and it's just a fun old time. But this does not mean you need to own any of this at all. If you choose to buy anything, that is totally your prerogative. If you use my code, if I have a code, I appreciate it so much, but never feel pressured by videos on the internet to spend money maybe you don't have or should use in other places. Don't let the makeup FOMO get to you. These can just be fun little videos just to watch, or maybe even inspire you to pull out your own collection. Like maybe you saw something that I talked about today and it's like, oh, I have something like that I haven't used in a while. Use it as inspiration for that. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy everything. But I thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you have any of these? Do you have your eye on any of these? What are you thinking about all these things? Do you have things in your collection that you can use instead of certain things? Let's chat down below. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave, oh, I don't know, leave some makeup emojis. I know there's at least a lipstick in there. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm BATTYBEAN there as well. And also, if you want to, you can subscribe. I'm posting most days over here. And if you want to, you can hop over to my second channel, linked in my description box, if you want additional content, of course. And also in my description box is a link to my channel memberships. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different perks, and I would love to have you. If you like this video and want to keep watching, I'll pop a similar one on the screen. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you in the next one.